Hi, my name is Elizabeth Prater, and this is my usability report presentation for ICOM201. First of all, I want to give you a little rundown of my site, let you take a quick peek at that. Let me pull this over here for you guys to see. Alright, so this is my site. When I did my usability testing, I started off pretty bare bones. I just kind of had my framework in set. So this is my homepage. This is where I was going to have my resume. You're able to download my resume. This was my little icon. It's a little elephant. I love elephants, and I wanted it to kind of be a personal statement about me. Here's my about page, education, work experience, references, and contact, a little way to contact me. Now, when I was doing my usability report, I really wanted to make sure that the navigation was easy to use. I wanted it to be very simple. I wanted my users to be able to get from one place to another without any major hardships. So that is the whole basis of why I was doing my usability report. Hi, just so you get to see a little bit about me. I'm going to start off with my little slideshow. I have a little presentation. I'm going to walk you through my usability report, let you know what's going on, and what my thought process was when I was doing the testing. So, now that you've seen that, I'm going to take you over here to my usability report. We're going to start off with the executive summary, just kind of give you a little background of what was going on. Like I said before, I designed the site with simplicity in mind, easy to navigate, colors that gave it a little personality but were not too distracting, and I wanted my logo to stand out. I wanted people to remember the elephant so that they would remember me. I tested 18 people. I did 8 questions, 4 Likert, 2 scale, and 2 open-ended, and I received some pretty positive feedback, and one major thing that stood out was the age of my users played a big factor in the results that I received. So I'm going to go over a little bit about the demographics here now. Like I said, I had 18 users. The average age was about 33. Median age was 26, and the most common age was 21. So I had a lot of younger students trying to do the testing for me. Overwhelming 67% were female, and I had about 6 guys take the test, all from my area. I did use Facebook as a way to gather my users. I sent out a message to about 30 or so people, ranging from my friends, family, and co-work, to participate in the study. It was pretty slow going at first. It took a little while for me to get users to respond back to me, and I did have to kind of single some people out to try and get some people to take the test for me. Not exactly the way I wanted to go about it, but we did have a deadline and I was not getting the results that I needed, so I did kind of have to poke and prod a little bit. Once I got enough, like I said, I had about 18 people take the survey and walk through the site. The results, since I went through Facebook as an outlet to gather my test users, I think that the results are somewhat skewed because they're all people that I know. They're friends, they're family, they're co-workers. So it would have been a lot better if I was able to get a wider variety of users that did not know me, because I think having a personal relationship with me, they scored better than they might have done with somebody else if they hadn't known that this was my site and this is what was going on. So for next time, I definitely know that I want to be able to pull users that I don't know. Maybe not use Facebook as an outlet. Maybe go to Twitter or Google Plus or something, to reach out to people that I have no idea who they are, so that I get a better idea of what the users thought about this. So on the next slide here, this is just a little scatter chart of the ages. As you can see, mostly between their 20s and 30s. I had a few people in their 40s and one in their 70s. And like I said, the understanding of this, I wanted this site to be very relatable to my users. I wanted them to be able to understand the site and the survey, but did not go over as I had planned. A lot of the older users did not understand the premise of the test at all, and I'll give you a quick look at this test real quick here. This is the live form test. I told them to visit the prototype site, gave them a thing. I should have put a little more in that test saying, hey, this is a prototype, this does not have a lot of content, this is bare bones. I probably should have explained that a little better in my testing because, like I said, there was some confusion. But as I said, I broke it down into more of a navigation and layout. I wanted to test those two specific areas, and I allowed them to have two open-ended questions to kind of give them get a better idea of what was going on. And like I said, older users did not understand the premise. I did have a lot of filler text in the site, which is in like fake Latin, and some of my users were very thrown by that. They didn't understand. They thought I was crazy, and they thought I was trying to write in another language. So that kind of took away from the site, and it took away from the test because the users did not understand what was going on. And I feel that, like I said, the older users maybe just didn't have that connection with the site. They didn't really understand it, and I think those with a profession in computer knowledge obviously had a better insight because they're more used to working on computers and working on websites and dealing with this kind of thing. Next, I'm going to go over the form questions by inquiry areas. So my inquiry areas were the questions that I wanted to answer using this form. Was, does the user know how to navigate through my site? Do they know how to find examples of the work, like a specific site that I had page that I buried? Do they know where they are when in the site when they're on each page? And does the layout seem easy to understand? And does the design take away from the content? So I was focusing on content, or on the layout and design and the navigation. Those two kind of play hand in hand. I really wanted to make sure that they were able to navigate easily through the site, and that what I had laid out in my design did not take away from that they were still able to do that. So first we're going to go over the first inquiry area. Does the user know how to navigate through my site? And I used a Likert skill question to kind of answer my question there. I wanted to know, if the users could get where they needed to or find everything they needed. So that was basically pretty blunt, my question. I could find everything I needed. And for the most part, I did have ones across the board, which was agree. I did have a 5, a disagree, which I think that particular user was confused the scale and thought 5 was agree and 1 was disagree because he marked 5s across the board. So that's hopefully wishful thinking maybe, or I don't know. I haven't honestly asked him for sure if that's what his idea was or if he really just didn't like the site. But in my mind, I'm kind of marking that 5 off. I did have a couple of 4s, and the people that did mark 4 as they disagreed, they couldn't find everything they needed, again, were my 2 older users that were in their late 40s, 50s that did not understand what was going on. And I did choose another question to kind of answer that inquiry area, and that was an open-ended question. I wanted to pull the users. I wanted to get their ideas on what was going on. And so the question was, how helpful was the site at helping you find what you were looking for? I got mostly very positive reviews. Some examples were that it was very user-friendly, menu tabs made searching very easy, the layout made it easy to navigate to find the necessary information. So they are putting hand in hand the layout and the navigation, which is what I was going for in the comments that I got from my users, that it was very easy to navigate. And as I said before, the filler text was an issue with the older users. I did have some problems, and I did get some negative feedback from the users based on just that filler text. I had a couple that just said, I don't understand what's going on. This text is just way too confusing. It just completely took away from the site. So I know for next time, definitely no more filler text. It's confusing. I want to put more content on it so that the users kind of got a better idea of what was going on. So let's go on to the next area. The next question was, do they know where they are in the site when they're on each page? So when they're on that, do they know what's going on? I chose to do a Likert scale. Again, I got mostly ones. That was my median, moan, and mean. It was easy to find. Most of my users agreed that it was easy to find. I got some 2s, 3, 4, and again that lone 5. Which tells me the users were able to find where they were when they were on the site. And I'm attributing that to my menu bar. That's what I'm hoping. That's what that stationary menu bar at the top of the page was for, to help the users and guide them. And each page highlights or each tab highlights when they're on that page. So that was the idea. So I was testing to make sure that that menu bar worked, and my results show that it did work for me. I also did another question, a ranking question, rank the content from easiest to hardest to find. Again, we're trying to find if they're able to find things on the site. Most of the people ranked that the logo was easiest to find, which was on the top of the page, and it was stationary on the website the entire time. So that's kind of what I was hoping to find. And on the flip side, though, 28% also said that it was the hardest to find. So it was kind of shocking, and you can see my pie charts here. That C was the green here, and on this one as well. So it's just kind of, it was kind of surprising to me to see that it was also really hard to find for some users. I kind of figured that was going to be pretty easy. With this, I know that I need some work on my navigation. The examples of work page was very difficult for our users to find, and I wanted that to be easy. I wanted it to be a drop down from that menu, and obviously that was not the case. So I know I need to work better on making that page more accessible. The next slide, do they know how to find examples of work? And like we said in the previous, it really doesn't. That question kind of fell under these two inquiry areas, so I kind of put it in the first, but it also goes along with the second question. I also did another ranking question, rank these elements from most to least useful, font, menu, and logo, and that was a mistake. The three elements that I am identifying, they're like apples to oranges. They don't make sense. So my users were very confused. My results were skewed. I don't really put a lot of faith in this question because it really didn't make a lot of sense for my users. So I'm going to move on. Does the design take away from the content? I did a Likert scale. The font was easy to read was my question, and I got some 1 to 3s. I got more 3s and 2s in there than I expected. So I know for future, maybe tone down the font or make it a little bigger. I did. In my next question, I did another Likert. The colors did not distract from the content. And again, I got mostly 1s. People tended to agree. I wanted to make sure the colors were not overbearing and that people weren't able to find what they needed. So my last inquiry was, does the layout seem easy to understand? Open-ended question, how did you like the layout? Positive feedback, I got a lot of, I like the layout, it was very clean, concise, and well organized, not cluttered or oversaturated with information, which is exactly what I was going for. Straightforward, love it. That was what I was going for. I did get some suggestions for some bolder colors to make the text stand out a little more in certain areas, so I will take that to heart if I need to for my changes. I'll add a couple more bolder colors because mostly it's white on gray and with some yellow, and the yellow is probably really hard for people to see. So I definitely am going to change the color scheme up a little for the final project. So my overall findings, my strengths from the survey, the static menu bar worked. It did what I wanted it to do. It was easy for people to navigate from to page with this navigation. The layout was clear and concise, which I did find with my results from my survey. People said yes, you know, I was able to find what I needed to. It was easy. It was clear and concise. The font was easy to read. This was kind of a strength and weakness. As I said before, some of the comments and the lacquer skills showed that it was not quite a 1. All 1s, there was some 2s and 3s and occasional 4s and 5s in there, so I need to keep that in mind. And the colors were pleasing to the eye. Like I said, this is something I'd like to change in the future, or for the final project. Weaknesses from the survey that I found: I need more contrast in colors, like we just said, and the filler text was confusing. So for next time, definitely, if I do this again, no filler text, actual content. I think my testing went over pretty well, but I needed to have more content on my site. Definitely, I was kind of under the impression that we were just testing the wireframe, but when I look back on it, that kind of doesn't make a lot of sense because there's not anything on there for the users to get around and to look at, so it was confusing for my users. So I really want to have more content on it next time that I do a test. Obviously for my final project, it's all going to be finished, but I kind of wish my testing had taken place a little later after I had gotten more of my content on my page. Opportunities from the survey: obviously add more colors, add more content, add more pages. I want to make sure that the extra layers of pages are easy for them to find. And what do I still need to know? Will these extra levels that I want to add cause it to be more confusing? Since I did my testing so early, I don't know, and I kind of wish, like I said, it would have taken place a little later so that I would have had more idea of what's going on. So that is my usability report. Follow up, like I said, I definitely wish that I would have had more content on my site before using my usability testing, but my testing did show me what I really came out to know was my layout and my navigation easy to use. Did they go hand in hand? Was it distracting? Was my users able to use my site? That is the main question. That is the main problem. So the usability testing worked. I did get the results I wanted. I'm pretty happy with my results. Just hindsight, you know, add more content, make it better. Thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity.